Careful not to pull, like the whole first layer of skin is gone. Ah, that hurts.
Okay.
There's skin attached to it. Ooh. It's crazy the pain that we can endure, huh?
The Cocodona 250 is really an extraordinary event and an extraordinary undertaking. I think I'm correct in saying you've never run this far before in your life. Is that right?
Yeah, just 135 miles. Badwater is the only one. You know, I signed up because I wanted to test myself and really experience this mysterious distance. You know, I call these epics. I don't think they're ultras. It's like the most epic adventure ever. I mean, I think there's so much unknowns. Doing more than double the distance that I've ever done, I think that on one hand, it's like, wow, I believe the further we go as humans, like as far as like the distance goes, the more you stretch yourself out, the more is revealed about who you are. And I think that is something I'm really looking forward to, is over and over again in races and hard runs, you're kind of stripped raw. Those experiences kind of embed themselves into your life memories, and you learn a lot about who you are and how you respond to challenges. And I think that the 200-mile distance, that is what I'm excited to experience. I don't know. It's a little scary thinking about, well, what side of Sally is going to come out, and like, how am I going to be feeling if things go really, really wrong and I'm just in this like extreme discomfort? Because that's what I hear a lot too, is like, it is just, you know, can feel like a death march at the very end of these things, and this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And I'm like, wow, like I'm excited to go to that place. But, you know, I'll be, you know, just being completely transparent. I don't have this mindset of like, oh, I've run so many hundreds, so I'm going to crush this thing, or I'm so fit, I'm going to crush it. I'm like, dude, I'm a rookie, man. I'm going into uncharted territory.
I lined up behind the front pack and told myself to not go out with them. That was a very conscious, focused effort because, you know, I like to go out with the front pack, but I had told myself that that's not what I was there for. It was really the goal, as silly as it sounds, was to ease into the race and be very focused on taking care of myself the first 150 miles.
Ripped open the whole thing, the whole back of my foot. If I don't stay on that, no, it's okay. If I don't stay on that, socks. Is the socks? We wrap the socks back in there.
In my almost 15 years of ultra running, I rarely ever get blisters. it's like a handful of time. I've run all over the world pain-free in my feet. I realized that I made a mistake with my socks and shoes when I want to say mile 11. I noticed that my sock was like sliding a lot in my shoe. And I can truthfully say that never happens to me.
Hi. How are you? Good. How are you?
Good, Sally.
Thank you. All right, babe. I love you.
I'm ready to go. We're just gonna ignore that pain, because at some point everyone's gonna be in pain. It's just, you don't know when it's gonna happen. But I am so stoked though that I feel good otherwise. And I'm eating. That's good. I hit a very low negative point as I left. I think going out like completely alone, and I'm not feeling good, and it's so early in the race. And so I just let myself kind of be upset about that. You know, you train so hard for something and everything felt very strong, and my feet were really hurting, and I hated that. I was frustrated with that. I was frustrated that it was taking my focus off of what I wanted to do. And then like the sky just like started changing, and I looked out along the valley at all these beautiful pine trees. In that moment, I went into what I always do when I'm in a tough place, and I just started praying and just thinking about how in the midst of this introduction to discomfort, I was still experiencing beauty and I was still moving. It's really easy for me when I'm not moving at the pace that I want to move, that I don't even appreciate the fact that I'm moving forward. For whatever reason, it was just this moment of gratitude. Like, you know what, I get to do this, and I can handle this discomfort, and maybe that is going to be the theme of this race.
Like, it was a longer section, and plus it was the night section, so I don't know like how her feet are doing. That's kind of the thing I'm most like concerned about right now. But yeah, just refilled the same nutrition bottles, and you know, hopefully she ate that whole section too. And I know they got like pancakes and stuff up here, so they got a lot of good food, so hopefully she'll be able to eat something going in. The next section is only 7 miles, so.
How's it going? I'm all right. Debating if I should like sleep right now or at the next aid station. I wanted to do between 80 and 90 for the first day. If I could do 80 and 90 for the first day, because it has the most climbing. And then if I got good sleep, I would love to do that again. If I could do 80 to 90 each day, I mean, I would finish on Wednesday. Yeah. I gotta go. Can I have coconut water? Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah, go.
All right, we'll see you in 7.5.
Yeah.
You can get some rest with that one, okay?
I'm gonna get to the next aid station, and I'll sleep, do a reset. Yeah. Continue on, so. Whew.
That section we were doing pretty well. We were hiking like the uphills, and we were jogging pretty well for the flats and downhills. I don't think her feet were too much of an issue then, or at least she wasn't putting it off as that.
If you're wondering if this feels amazing going downhill on the road, it's awesome. It's like pillows beneath my feet, music to my quads.
Shelby! So good to see you. Oh man. I think I. Arriving at Whiskey Row was like a first like celebration for me, because it was like, yes, we made it. Yes, I get to sleep, and I know this sleep is going to help me quite a bit. So just climbed into the back of the SUV and conked out immediately.
I think okay. Took a longer than expected little nap, but hour and 15. So changing now, and hopefully that feels good. A little refresh.
Good morning, Sally. Good morning.
This was What? So what
I might
am I
regret this, but I'm wearing a jacket right now. I have on like a shirt. I'm so cold. I see you at mile 13. I'll get more like sun prepared. All right.
Good.
Here we go.
Sweet.
Let's go have some fun.
When we left Whiskey Row, we were just so excited to run together. And I think this was really when her feet started to become an apparent issue. At one point, maybe, I'm going to say 5 miles into that section, we actually stopped to look at her feet and apply some tape to her pinky toe at that time. But I'm pretty sure her left heel was already missing a good amount of skin. And yeah, so we kind of did what we could with the tape that was already on it and said we're not going to look at it. And at this point, and really through the rest of the race, Sally would do this thing where she'd ask if we could walk for 30 seconds while she got used to the new pain sensation in her feet. And then once she was able to process the feet feeling, she started to trot and then jog again. And it was that on repeat for the next 153-ish miles.
I hear you want your feet looked at.
Well, I don't want to disrupt them.
Okay.
I have stuff on them, but
Well, you'll at least just let me look at them, and
absolutely.
we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, I have a chair like right over there. I knew the water crossing was beyond the 100-mile mark, but I would still have half the race left to run. So an EMT took far too long to bandage up my feet. The EMT took about 30 minutes. And that was another thing that I had to come to grips with too, is like, now that I created this problem, I was now adding time onto my race. And I had to, take off my socks and tend to it each time. But once I hit Fain Ranch around a mile 100, I decided whatever work is going to be done on my feet, that's it. And I'm not going to touch my shoes and socks again. Like, I just have to leave it for the next 150 miles.
Like when we got out of Fain Ranch, we had 5 or 10 minutes of where we were walking just because she was trying to get the feeling in her feet to just go numb, I guess. I don't know if she still felt it or if it was completely numb.
We approached the Mingus Mountain Aid Station, so it's at the top of the mountain. We had come up this really big climb. I unfortunately had started my period. I had a pretty bad attitude about it because for me, my symptoms are flu-like. So I get a big hard hit on my energy. My whole body aches. I had this thought of like, really, like one more thing.
So she came in super tired the last section. She was stumbling and was wanting to sleep on a rock, she said. So she just came in, had a couple bites of lasagna and filled her pack. And she said she needed to go, but I was like, you need to put your head down for 5, maybe 10 minutes. So that's what she was doing, just to kind of get a quick recharge.
So I just use Mingus Mountain as a reset. I know what to do. I have to increase my calories. I took in some coffee, but I just needed to change my attitude because it wasn't like I had an injury. It wasn't, it wasn't like this terrible thing. It's something that I deal with every single month. And I know how to take care of myself. It's just a situation that needed my attention, but I was angry to have that situation in that moment because I didn't want to deal with it. And I didn't like that it was just another hit on my energy stores. So, Mingus Mountain was a reset for me. At that moment, I just needed to focus on the next small goal. And the next small goal was to keep on running through the night and get through that section. So that's what we did. We were on our way to Jerome, and I wanted to get to Jerome feeling strong. And thankfully I had Shelby, by my side. And because we kept moving and we had that good energy, I was able to move into 5th female in that section. Don't do it, Sally. Don't do it.
We're not gonna sit in that chair.
We're not.
Nope.
We're not even gonna look at it.
Nope. Stupid chair.
It doesn't exist.
Sally just passed 2 dudes and she's cranking. It's nighttime, baby. We're moving.
Yeah. You.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go. My feet are ripped to shreds, and we have 125 miles to go. And we're just not going to think about the pain. We're going to think about the finish line. Obsess with the finish line. Yeah. Instead of being obsessed with how uncomfortable my feet are. Halfway, baby. Let's go.
Up top. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Let's go halfway. So good.
Bryce had texted me saying that the next lady in front of her was about a half mile away. And I was kind of hesitant on even bringing it up because I knew that she didn't want to race competitively with us at first.
I don't want to throw the goal of get to the finish line as I'm just going to walk and have a Coke. I wasn't out there to run easy pace. I mean, I didn't train this hard just to sit back and jog through the race. So I knew that I wanted to push my physical limits, but I didn't know where that would bring me in the race.
I was like, yeah, I mean, that light up there is the next lady. So I think that kind of flipped a switch of we're gonna go, we're gonna try to pass her, let's do this. I kept checking my tracker to see how far ahead she was in front of us. And so we were kind of pushing with that. And then we were hiking when we passed her. And then Sally was like, let's start running.
I was just teaching Summer. It's called pass, gap, and bury.
She said, we're gonna run for 30 seconds and we're gonna walk for the other, minute or so, and we're gonna keep doing this. Yeah, I think that definitely helped chasing the people in front of us to distract herself. We developed a pretty good lead because she wanted to sleep, so we were trying to get as much lead as we could so that she could take like a half-hour nap at Deer Pass.
The segment all the way to Deer Pass was just pushing. Like, that was the goal. Like, let's run as well as we can. We are in the middle of the night, so at this point it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm growing pretty tired of just that mental focus of like, let's push. And then my internal clock is saying, hey, isn't it time to go to sleep right now? And so when we arrived in Deer Pass, I was uncomfortable and I was very tired just from pushing. And I thought, maybe I'll sleep here. But there was something going on with one of the bandages in my shoe. So I climbed into the back of the car and I fixed the bandage in my shoe. And then I changed my clothes, I ate, and all of that time doing that started to accumulate because I wasn't moving really fast. I ate, had some coffee again, and then just decided, you know what, the sun's about to peak up, let's just get to Sedona.
She came in and went to the bathroom and said she was gonna lie down, but her feet hurt so bad that she's like, I can't sleep because my feet bother me so much. So she wasn't going to, but she took off her shoes, took off her socks, and looked at her feet for the first time and kind of reapplied some bandages. And once she put on new socks, she was still having a hard time falling asleep, but she said, all right, let me sleep for 7 minutes. So she slept for 7 minutes and that's it. And then got up and got her pack and went out. So yeah, so she didn't sleep much at all. All right, love you. Good job. Oh, let's get him.
You're the best. Thank you so much.
You're doing amazing.
The end is here.
All right, let's do it. I'm just gonna loosen up my legs. You just want to walk for like the first few minutes?
I didn't mean like right away.
Huh?
We're gonna do work.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do work for sure. But I think just sitting down, the restart was really painful for me. And when I restarted running out of Deer's Pass, yeah, that kind of took my breath away. And so I think Shelby and I walked for about half a mile. And I was complaining in my mind a little bit. And I think part of it was just I was tired. I had, that mental breakdown, that mental fatigue, and we had pushed so much already, and now my feet were just getting worse. And so I just told Shelby, I was like, I'm just going to stare at the back of your head, but I'm going to walk a little bit. And I go, but we do need to run. I just decided, I think I can push to the next big aid station. And if I need to sleep there, then I'll sleep there. Because at that point, I also knew by the time we got to Sedona that it was going to be heating up, which would be like a good time to take a nap. Once I hit like the halfway mark, there was a side of me that was like, gosh, I could be running so much better if I didn't have these blisters. Man, I'm such an idiot. Like, why did I make that mistake? Like, that's such a rookie thing to do, to have on the wrong socks. And it would have been really easy to throw myself into this pit of negativity, regret, beating myself up. But I know from past experience that never helps me. It never allows me to do what I want to do. And so I then had to shift my mind and be like, okay, well, what can you do with this type of pain? How well can you run when things aren't going your way? So when we hit 150, there was a sign, 100 miles to go. And that's when I realized, like, wow, I feel good.
Yeah, so this next section is 17 miles, and there is a section at mile 170 where she crosses a little stream that's about knee deep. And the last time we saw her, she was having a lot of issue with her feet and blisters, and they're super painful and they're all wrapped up. And she is nursing those things, and so I'm just hoping that water doesn't affect it. Yeah, this next section is pretty gnarly, and so we're trying to get her. She's got a bunch of required gear that she has to have too, so their pack's gonna be heavy, and so it's a pretty crucial section just because of the climb and the mileage. So, but she's gaining on third place, so we're hoping that it'll be a good section for her.
Yeah.
Hey, you ready?
Yeah.
You guys come down here and do that. Good stuff, Sally.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Let's go get you.
Have to check in.
You want some of this?
No, thanks.
What?
Just watch me quit food.
It's fine. You get to do whatever you want.
That's good. I feel like I should probably lay down for like 15 minutes.
Want to do that?
I should do a power nap.
Let's go check your bag.
You have my glasses. All right, Shelby, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, you are. You good? Yeah. Frank, all right? Doing awesome. She's trying to muscle up and push through, but I can tell when she verbalizes that it's painful, I know it's really bothering her. So I don't know. I mean, this is a big section, especially going through the water. I don't know, anything can happen at this point. I feel bad, but she's gonna try to push through. That's what she was saying. So.
I know that when I cross the river with my feet getting wet, there is a massive climb straight from the river, and the positioning of your feet in your shoe as you're on an incline, I knew was just gonna rip my skin apart. I felt really weak mentally. I had just these thoughts in my mind like, oh, I wonder if there's a way that I can avoid getting my feet wet. I was in such a delirious, like almost a state of denial, but I knew that my feet were gonna get wet. I knew that at some point I needed to step in and grab onto the rope with both my hands and get across and just accept that was gonna be the rest of my race. I haven't taken a step without pain for the last 24 hours. In that moment crossing the river, I was not strong, and I did not feel strong, and I did not feel great. I felt weak and broken, and I even started crying. And it was, I let myself have that moment. You know, from that point on, once I got out of the river and we started making that climb, everything that was going through my mind was a conversation about, okay, how are you going to respond to this now? This is now what the rest of your race is going to feel like. Who are you in this moment? Who are you when everything falls apart? Who are you in this pain?
It took her a little while to feel that new pain sensation and move through it. What we did for that climb was she went ahead of me at her pace, and we just went really steady up the climb. Her feet have been pretty wrecked for a very long time, to a point where I think most athletes would have called it quits. When you don't see any skin on your heel, you don't typically keep pushing on like Sally is currently doing right now. She was starting to feel nauseous, and at first I thought maybe it was nutrition, the heat. Sedona was very hot, but it was sheer pain causing the nausea. So she powered through.
There you are.
Hey. You got this.
You want to take some Tylenol?
No, I just need to grind through it. Like the only way I'm gonna finish.
Okay.
They're not gonna change. It just hurts.
Yeah.
Which feels like so stupid, but I think I'm just tired too.
Sure. You're moving really well. I know you're in pain, but you're moving really well. Really well.
It's just like wrapping my mind around 70 more
Let's
miles.
just do a one mile at a time, right?
Yeah.
Grind it out each mile, push through,
Yeah.
and sooner or later it'll be done. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you're moving really well, and I know you're hurting, but okay.
Yeah, I'll just check it out. I'll just do a little bit.
Yeah.
Never
Very
is. I never have that problem.
Yeah.
Can I do that? Yeah.
Loosen it up a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I did. Good. Yes. That's almost the tightest.
She's hurting.
We were saying we've never seen her cry.
She was crying, and yeah, she's in pain, dude. And when she's in pain, it's painful. Because she doesn't show pain very well. Yeah, that was rubbed out the arch of her foot because those are really hurting her, and her Achilles is really tight. So I took her shoe off and kind of worked on that, and that was it. So yeah, she left everything, socks, shoes, like same, but I think part of it's just her being tired, you know. She's really tired and in a lot of pain on her feet, which she's never dealt with before, so it's kind of a new thing. So, all right.
All right, you ready? Let's do it.
All right, Bryce.
All right, thank you. I think I had a moment in the chair. I sat in the chair for a little bit and just had another conversation with myself. I feel like I had a lot of conversations in this race, and it was the same conversation that I had throughout the race. Was just, Sal, you got to pull it together, and you can have this moment, but let's take care of what you're feeling to the best that you can, and we need to get out of here. I think in ultras, you get these opportunities to experience feelings that aren't ordinary or frequent in life, and one of them is putting yourself into a dark space where you're feeling discomfort and ache, and then you're asking yourself, is this worth it? I've been in races and just moments in my life where I feel like if I can harden myself to what I'm feeling, or if I ignore it, or I try to toughen up and say that, you know, I'm stronger than this by not accepting it, that's going to help me get through it. And a lot of times that works against me, and I end up beating myself up because I realize that the pain is so great. But in this moment, I realize I'm just going to accept it. I'm going to feel it, and then just like be in it. And that's really what I did. I just like was in the pain. Actually, like the last couple miles before we arrived, when Bryce and I arrived, I was falling asleep while we were running and trying to look around at the houses in my surroundings, trying to occupy myself. And Bryce was trying to keep me awake with the live feed. But as soon as we entered the aid station, I knew all I wanted to do was climb into the back of the SUV and just sleep. I don't think that I am this extraordinary superhuman. I think that we are all so much stronger than we give ourselves credit for. And so often we stop ourselves short in our tracks because of maybe something that someone said, or a past failure, or a past hurt, or a loss. And so we just think, oh, you know, people that are strong or that can overcome or have success, like they're just special or they're more valuable. And it's just not true. That next section, I was in and out of sleep walking, sleep running. We were surprised to get hit by hail twice. As it started hailing, we then started to hit a series of all these downed massive trees. I mean, gigantic trees. And we're climbing over the trunks of these trees, climbing under these trees. And then the hail stopped. And right when the hail stopped, I look at Summer and I said, I'm not sure if I remember the last half mile or not, but I don't stop on a rock right now and just take a nap. I don't know if I'm able to move very well for the next few miles.
We took a 10-minute nap on one of the trees where she just fell asleep immediately on the log. She started snoring.
Then I think I even set my alarm to make sure it is not more than 7 minutes. And then I'd pop up and we'd start running again.
Yeah. There's a...
I allowed myself to lay down on the cot just for a little bit. Same thing, got some ramen. At that point, we checked the spot tracker, and I told Shelby, listen, this section is very runnable. We need to put as much distance as possible on 5 and 6 because the climb that is coming, that last final climb, I know that I'm going to struggle on it.
Fort Hill to Walnut Canyon is an incredible section. It's somewhere between 16 and 17 miles. At the start of it, we had a good little heart-to-heart. She told me that she wanted to push it, and I said, perfect. She wanted to just try to put as big of a gap as she could between her and fifth place female. I was all in.
We pushed really hard, and that was mentally and physically one of the toughest because, you're over 200 miles into a race and telling yourself, okay, we're going to use a lot of energy right now to run as much as possible. And, I was done. Physically, I was done, but I still had a goal for myself. And it was just kind of latching on to that mini goal of we need to really bury 5 and 6. I was very grateful to be in 4th position. And so I had to celebrate that in whatever way I could. We're in a lot of pain, but we're still moving forward. We still have this idea of let's push, let's gap the runners behind us, and let's get up this mountain. Let's get to that finish line.
We had some 12-minute miles in there, which is really fast for the end of a 250-mile race. Yeah, that time just multiplies over 16, 17 miles.
Here we are.
Let's go. How are you guys doing?
Drink down, I'll give you your water.
We're running to Mount Olive right now. Yes. I can't believe that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe it. Can't believe it's finally here.
The day has finally come.
All right, here we go. Next time you see me, I'll be done. Heck yeah. You.
When we envision finishing a race, we want to finish triumphantly. We want to finish strong. That's really what I was hoping for. So I knew getting to the top of that climb is just a little bit further, Sally, just a little bit further. If you'd shown me, Sally, this is what your feet are going to be like for the entire race, and you, you're going to be in a lot of pain, I don't think I would have gone to the start line. I would have been afraid of that. I would have let fear overtake me. I would have let wanting to be comfortable keep me from getting to the start line. But because I didn't know it was there, I stood at the start line. And I want to keep doing that. I don't want fear or discomfort to ever keep me from getting to the finish. If I can embrace every step of my journey, no matter how painful it is, I know that I'm going to be able to do some pretty cool things. I think that we become better in the discomfort. We become better in the setbacks. We become better in our failures when we choose just to keep going. That celebration at the finish line was a celebration of overcoming. That we can overcome, and we are stronger than we think we are. I think the things that are going through my mind right now of what I want to do after having accomplished Cocodona 250, it's pretty exciting, and I'm not done yet. There's a lot more ahead.
Oh, it's you and Tyler.
I got this out just for you.